Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 12. We get to talk smack about Mark Martin, who's been in here for a couple of last episodes. Great guy, loved his insight. So much knowledge over his years of career, and
yeah, absolutely. We didn't have enough time. I don't think.
No, we could have.
We got through a lot of stuff very quickly. Tried to narrow down the culture piece, but I know there was a lot more. His son Matt was in here and had given us a really good rundown, but we only got so much time, so walk through that. What do you think your biggest takeaway was?
I think that Mark really lit up when he talked about lifting others up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, you could see his demeanor just get excited, and knowing him personally, it's so true. I mean, he asked me one time, "Hey, would you mind if I waxed your wife's car?" And I'm like, Mark Martin's gonna wax my wife's car. But the whole thing was he wanted to lift. He loved that car. It was so beautiful, and he just has that service of let's make it even look better for your wife type of thing. And so I think it's fantastic. So I'd say uplifting would be one.
Absolutely. But he didn't get there overnight. I mean,
no.
He talked about the two employees that he had, and they had nicknames. What were the nicknames again?
Prick, little prick, and little hemorrhoid. No, little hemorrhoid, and something prick.
So that says a lot, right? Because he went from that to just, like you said, lit up, talking about lifting people up, and he said it several times through both episodes.
Yeah.
So,
and I think a lot of that comes with age, and those of you younger folks out there. Your parents will say stuff like, "Well, when I was your age," or "I wish I knew it then, what I know now." It is so true, but we don't have the capacity to think that way. But if you can, at a younger age, I think if you could try to even pay attention a little bit more to some of these more finer things in life, not finer things in life, the more important things in life, rather than the other things, I think you'll get there quicker.
Yeah, when he was talking about, I mean, he lit up when he was talking about Hendrick. There was a total different demeanor.
It was his culture at the time.
Yeah,
and now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that's important, right? Because he talked about how he might not have appreciated it had he been 29 and been there the way he appreciated it at 50 when he was at Hendrick, and the difference. And he even talked about Arlene seeing the difference when he'd come home from the shop. So I think timing is super important, but also paying attention, like you said, to those important things. And one of the things that stood out to me is he talked about a lot of nitty gritty when he was talking about the Roush team. Now he spent a lot of years there, but when we talked about Hendrick, he talked about the feeling.
Yeah.
So like a little bit different. You couldn't even pinpoint how why that was or what it was exactly. It just felt different.
Yeah, and I think the moral of that whole thing, when you look back at it, the moral is where you are in your life today may be this type of a culture, and you want to be in that culture because you need to be in that culture. But tomorrow it could be a little bit different, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Seek the culture that you desire and get in it, and you may have to change careers to do that. You may have to change scenes of the sublime. You talked about that. Our coach talked about scenes of the sublime, and to kind of follow up on that a little bit, you're doing the same thing repetitiously over and over and over and over. It becomes monotony and kind of boring, or maybe you don't like doing it, and you got to eat that frog, like the book Eat the Frog. You got to get that done first because you don't like. If you just change up your scene of the sublime and go to a coffee shop or go to somewhere that's a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more energy, and you do those same types of things, it refreshes.
Absolutely. You start to associate that bad feeling with that same spot over and over again. And then he talked when they moved his spot from north of Charlotte down to Charlotte with the third team that the Roush had added, like it was a whole
like a brand new home.
So I think that's important. One of the other things too that I really picked up was the growth of Mark, the growth of Jack Roush. Man, what a cool thing though, like Jack wanting to take somebody who nobody really knew and help grow that person, but it took him a long time to get there.
And for Mark to say he thinks he should be in the Hall of Fame or whatever, for that and be recognized, I think that says volumes of, this guy was a hard nose. He expected greatness. He expected you to be just as driven as he was, which we all know that not everybody is as driven as we are or whatever, and that's okay. But he didn't think that was okay, but yet to have Mark now go into another career where he loved the feeling over here, but to say this guy's insanely awesome, that's pretty cool. So again, I'm going to say it again. I said it a couple times last episode. It's not wrong, bad, indifferent. It's just different.
Yeah.
And you might be in a different culture place in your life at different times. So that's kind of
Getting
cool.
into the right culture spot for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What else did you take away? I know the growth. So the growth and uplifting.
Growth was I think huge. The uplifting, obviously, a big piece. I think those are the two main themes that really came out of both episodes. He just mentioned both of those things. Well, he mentioned the he didn't actually mention the growth. That's just something that just watching and him talking about from here to here, the big difference, right? And we don't really have. We used the Roush team and we use Hendrick team, but we got 3 years at Hendrick. We got however many 19 years at Roush. So what a big difference. We don't know what Hendrick was like that started off, but he did talk about how early years they were beating them, and then in later years it was not even close.
And prior to that, he had his own team. He had 14 years prior to that.
Yeah.
Before he even went on to Roush. Yeah. And so that's kind of interesting. Interesting chain of events.
Taking chances too.
Without question.
I think that's something that Jack Roush really seemed to epitomize, was taking chances on the right people and helping build them.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
It might have been a little rough, but he did it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Again, I thank you guys for listening. I hope Mark was a little bit inspiring, a little bit of knowledge, and give us some. We're going to try to get some more outside people. Or we're not going to try. We will get some more outside people in here. We're going to get more of our people in here to tell their stories and just keep this truck going. So
different cultures, different ideas of how people create the culture that they have, and try to give some knowledge out to you guys. So.
Culture of picking on.
Right. Yeah. So, thank you guys. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and if you have any questions, please give us some feedback too. Anything that can help us kind of help you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you.